Good afternoon. I will be discussing my experience engaging graduate healthcare students in a course utilizing a hybrid flexible teaching model. I would like to begin this presentation by describing the students in this course. There are approximately 110 students enrolled in the programs in occupational therapy at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. 53 students are completing the second year of the Master of Science program, which includes academic and clinical courses. These students live on campus in the 5 boroughs or commute from other areas to Columbia University Irving Medical Center campus. This includes other areas of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or Pennsylvania. Upon completion of academic requirements, the students complete 24 weeks of full-time supervised clinical internships and are required to pass a national certification exam to apply for licensure and practice as a licensed occupational therapist. Now I will describe the course that I adapted this fall to engage students optimally in learning. The course is Occupational Therapy with Children and Adolescents 2. This course is taught in the 4th semester of the program and includes lecture, learning activities, and assignments. Additionally, students are required to participate in related clinical experience, which was a telehealth format this past fall. This image shows you the classroom or lab where the occupational therapy courses are typically held in the Hammer Health Science building. In order to fully understand the course, I'd like to share the overall objectives that guided the course design and the student experience this past fall. Our program adheres to accreditation standards, and therefore for this course, students are required to demonstrate knowledge related to human development, pediatric conditions, assessment and interventions to address performance and participation in daily life. Students, as developing clinicians, are required to demonstrate knowledge on exams, competency in administering assessments and interventions, documentation skills, and exhibit professional behaviors consistently. In order to develop and demonstrate skills, students participate in a variety of learning activities. Now I would like to explain the course design and my experience adapting the course design during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prior to March 2020, the course was scheduled 1 day a week for 3 hours in person. This course took place in the classroom lab, which was in the picture that I just showed you. In March 2020, we transitioned to a remote synchronous format via Zoom, which consisted of lecture, child or clinician visit, and small group activities or discussions via breakout rooms. The transition in the fall 2020 included transitioning to the hybrid flexible model. How did we make this model successful? I'm going to go ahead and explain that to you. So transitioning to the hybrid flexible teaching model, that included setting priorities and a lot of planning. First, our priorities included student and staff health and safety, student learning and course objectives, and the professional development of our students for clinical practice. Second, planning included education and collaboration with many departments and staff at Columbia University. This included program and departmental meetings and communication with students, attending university faculty forums regarding COVID-19, and training for return to campus for in-person learning. This was guided by the CDC and implementing the Columbia Compact. We had consultation with facilities several times regarding room design, signage, ventilation, and cleaning. Meeting with Columbia University Informational Technology, or CUIT, regarding updating classroom technology and setting up and monitoring Echo 360 platform for live streaming. And additionally, the CTL Hybrid and Online Teaching Institute and consultation consistently with CTL personnel. This cycle was repeated throughout the semester due to the uncertainty of COVID-19 and local and national events. So the final design of the course as it ran in the fall of 2020. This consisted of asynchronous lectures. There were 2 to 3 30-minute lectures each week, were pre-recorded via Zoom, uploaded into Panopto for editing and access for students. These lectures were viewed by students prior to attending the synchronous in-person class on campus. The synchronous class was in-person and live streamed. Live streaming provided students with the flexibility to attend course remotely or in person. Students who were quarantined or exhibiting symptoms were required to remain home and therefore could still attend class via the live stream feed. The live stream session was also recorded and posted on Canvas for all students to review if needed. Due to social distancing guidelines, 53 students were placed into 3 groups. There was a group of 18, another group of 18, and a group of 17. This allowed students to be seated 6 feet apart from each other, as well as the instructor, myself. Due to the limited seating allowed in the class, I taught the same course content 3 times. Each class was 90 minutes, with 30 minutes between each class for cleaning and setting up. This image shows the live stream recording via Echo 360. The camera is video recording me at the front of the classroom, while the second image shows the presentation on the screen. Additionally, you can see the chat box and additional features for the student attending the course from home. The in-person class allowed for hands-on activities, in-person discussions, and demonstrations by students and myself. I found the following to be helpful in successfully engaging the students in this hybrid course. Asynchronously, I found that the Panopto quizzes, which I embedded in the pre-recorded lectures, kept the students on task with the pre-recorded lectures. Additionally, that information could be downloaded or exported so that I could review their responses and connect that to the in-person discussions that we had. Additionally, I assigned a reflection survey following each course that week, and this allowed me to review the students' thoughts and feedbacks regarding the course. I learned about this technique from a poetry professor at the Center for Teaching and Learning Institute. Additionally, I can't say enough about the textbook resources. Utilizing the most recent edition of the textbook allowed me to use videos, multiple choice questions, and images embedded into my lectures that I wouldn't have had if I wasn't using the most recent edition of the textbook that was related to my course. Additionally, I incorporated multimedia. The students enjoyed having a variety of sources of information, whether they were via videos or public domain links or images. And then from the synchronous perspective, this was again in person was everything it had been, but then the remote live stream was successful due to the clear instructions and communications with students ahead of time. It was integrated into Canvas, so when they logged onto the Canvas site for my course, they had access to the information that was there. We needed to check audio with masks and with distancing, and my location as the instructor related to the microphone at the podium. Monitoring the chat was rather difficult, so incorporating a remote teaching assistant or a work study student allowed us to monitor the chat more successfully. Each semester, the students complete the anonymous course feedback form. The feedback form this fall included suggestions to improve the course, which were more lab time, more questions for purposes of course exam and NBCOT. These were the primary reasons or suggestions that the students had for improving the course. And aspects of the course which were valuable to the students included lectures were not excessively long, pre-recorded lectures were beneficial, I could go at my own pace throughout the lecture, everything was easy to find on Canvas, and the course was well organized. I would like to highlight that this feedback is consistent with feedback prior to COVID-19. And for me, the integration of the technology with a variety of learning opportunities developed in collaboration with staff and faculty at the university optimized the learning experience and engaged students. So as we look to future courses, I would like to highlight that I plan to utilize Zoom for live streaming due to the difficulties with Echo 360 and really synchronizing the space. Address audio challenges in blending environments is really important. Continue with asynchronous lectures, which will allow us to have more hands-on and live discussions. Continue with small group learning, making large classrooms smaller to the best of our abilities. Incorporating student reflection into the semester and learning process as the world changes very rapidly. Receiving feedback from the students as they're learning the material was helpful. Again, focusing extensively on the organization of the course design in Canvas and collaborating with ctl.CUIT facilities and additional departments as needed in the university. Thank you.